Hi, good afternoon. I want to say on behalf of Common Sense Media and the Annenberg retreat at Sunnylands, I'm pleased to welcome you here today. And thanks to Pew, what an incredible space this is. It really is wonderful. My name is April McClain-Delaney, and I'm the Washington Director and a Common Sense Media National Board member. I'm also a communications attorney and a mother of 4, and it's been a privilege to have been involved with Common Sense for the past 7 years. It's also why I'm so passionate about the issue we're going to talk about today, and I think few organizations have been so impactful in the arena of media and kids as Common Sense. So thank you, and I do want to say, is there anyone here that needs to be recognized? Usually we talk about our luminaries and dignitaries and officials that are in the room, but I think there's so many, it's chock full of them, that I'm just going to say thank you all, and I do know that Secretary Duncan will be here later today. One housekeeping matter. For our first panel, anyone who's on the first panel that hasn't been mic'd yet, if you could go over in the corner, and they can put something on you so that we can just properly hear you during the next panel. So let's speak for a minute about why we're all here today. We can all agree that educational technology, used wisely, has the potential to transform and enhance learning for any child, anywhere, and I might add, any time on a 24/7 broadband basis. And we can all agree that online platforms, mobile apps, and cloud computing collects massive amounts of personal information on students. That's why, as we embrace digital coursework, apps, and all of the wonderful digital devices that we have to engage and inspire learning, we also need to protect kids' privacy. This allows for us to foster an environment of trust while harnessing technology to leverage learning outcomes. Recently, Common Sense Media launched the School Privacy Zone campaign to connect classrooms that are in a connected environment and also that respect and safeguard kids' privacy. The idea is that the school zone is also a privacy zone, a safe and trusted environment. Over the past several months, Common Sense has reached out to a broad swatch of stakeholders, many of whom are here today, in an effort to initiate a national conversation. And to start the discussion, we propose 3 basic principles that attempt to balance the tremendous opportunity of EdTech with the need to foster a trusted learning environment. The 3 pillars are as such. Students' personal information should be used solely for educational purposes. 2, students' personal information or online activity should not be used to target advertising to students and families. And 3, schools and educational and technology partners should adopt appropriate data security, data retention, and data destruction policies. We look forward to looking at all of these principles and engaging in an open and constructive dialogue today. Student privacy, as you know, has become an incredibly hot and very salient topic, with initiatives in the public and private sector. In recent months, there's also been efforts in states across the country, on Capitol Hill, and even in regulatory circles. So here's a quick roadmap of today, and I'm sure many of you have the agenda. But first, we'll hear about these issues and concerns about student privacy, issues raised by parents, by academics, and by child advocates and nonprofits. Second, we'll have a panel discussion focused on schools and educators. We'll hear from districts from Maine to Texas how they're integrating technology into the classroom, the issues they are facing, and how they are dealing with the opportunities and challenges of ed tech technology and student data retention. The next panel will focus on the industry perspective, and we are very fortunate to hear from the leading ed tech providers and thank them for being here: Microsoft, McGraw-Hill Education, and Amplify. Last, we will turn to the policymakers. We are thrilled that Secretary Duncan will provide keynote remarks from the Department of Education. And we're delighted that FTC Commissioner Julie Brill, who's been a very engaged attorney on this issue for many years, and the Deputy Secretary of Education, Jim Sheldon. And they will give us the FTC and Department of Ed perspective. Last, we'll hear from Senator Ed Markey, who will provide a few remarks from Congress. And Ed has been very involved in kids and privacy on the House side, and hopefully he can give us both the House and Senate perspectives. We'll end the afternoon behind us with a brief reception. We hope you'll continue the dialogue or at least have a snack. And it should be an interesting journey. We hope that these dialogues will really move forward our understanding on how to balance harnessing technology while still protecting the student privacy of our nation's kids. So without further ado, I turn the podium over to Zach Katz.
Good afternoon. I'm Zach Katz. I'm here on behalf of the Annenberg Foundation Retreat at Sunnylands. We're a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping address the world's most pressing issues, including by hosting high-level meetings and bringing together leaders from the public and private sector. We're very pleased to be co-hosting this event with Common Sense Media. I wanted to share with you a little bit about Sunnylands and our continued engagement with this issue before turning it over to Jim Steyer. So over the past year, the Sunnylands Estate, a historic property in the Southern California desert, has hosted President Obama for meetings with the Chinese president, Xi Jinping, and the King of Jordan. It's long been a Camp David of the West, hosting presidents of both parties and other world leaders going back decades. Education and communications technologies, including the issues we're talking about today, are core priorities for Sunnylands. Walter and Leonore Annenberg's long-standing efforts in this area, including in 1981 launching the Annenberg Corporation for Public Broadcasting project, and hundreds of millions of dollars in philanthropy in the Clinton years for education, are kind of the backdrop to our involvement with this issue today. More recently, we've been very pleased to partner with Common Sense Media, including for a great event that some of you were at in September of last year, and the ongoing work of the LEAD Commission. So that work focused on getting infrastructure, devices, effective learning content to schools and students wherever they are is obviously critical, but not alone sufficient to address the education technologies, the education challenges in this country. And that's why today is so important and the continuation of that work. We wanted to thank Pew for hosting this wonderful event. And with that, I'll hand it over to Jim Steyer.